rigged the whole damn deal, and he got in office, and now they're taking advantage of us. And remember this, this isn't stopping. This is going to go on for a long time. This is going to go on for a long time. This isn't going away. This isn't like a 3-day hit. It's going to go on for a long time. Taliban, great negotiators. Tough fighters, great negotiators. Got 45,000 people. You got a lot of people also that deserve to be helped. And they're not going to let them be helped at all. This is going to go on for a long time. This is a great stain on the reputation of our country. Going into the Middle East was one of the most disastrous decisions that our country has ever been involved with. We've never had a decision, in my opinion, it was the worst decision that we've ever had. It was quicksand. Quicksand. We should have gone in, knocked the hell out of it. You know, I met a general. His name was General Kane. I don't even know. Maybe he's not even on my side. Who the hell knows with these generals, you know? When I get through with this guy, Millie, I mean, how about Millie? Remember? Remember when I walked to the church, proudly walked to the church, that the protesters, they tried to burn it down, but I walked to the church, protesters out there, and Millie was walking with me. And the next day, the radical left media starts calling, you shouldn't have walked, you shouldn't have walked. Instead of saying, I'm proud to walk with my president, not because it's me, because of the office. Instead of saying that, he wanted to apologize for walking with the President of the United States. And I said, this guy doesn't have what it takes. And you're seeing that now because the worst decisions I've ever seen.
Come here, buddy.
That's again why I put the patent. I just remembered it as I was coming over. I said, get that clip quickly.
Here, buddy.
The people of Alabama understand that clip. Do you think that? Let me ask you, do you think that General Patton was woke? I don't think so. What do you think, Mike? Mike, was he woke? I don't think so. I don't think he was too woke. He was the exact opposite. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true. Look at what's happening. I got in a little trouble. I said that our women's soccer team was supposed to easily win, but they went woke, except for a few of them. I love those women that stood up and they saluted our flag. It was something.
Wow.
But the one with the purple hair, she didn't play too well. She went woke. You can have her. And they didn't do too well, unfortunately. We wanted to do well, but they didn't. But it's true, losing everything you have. They want to get rid of our great heroes and heroines. They want to get rid of our history, our culture.
A lot of people.
We're not going to do it. You know, when they were starting to rip down our statues, and it started with people, Confederate people, generals, some respected, some not. But they're taking down our culture and our heritage. And then it started with others, and then it went to Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee was a part of our history, and then it went to Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Jefferson, now George Washington. In San Francisco, they're taking the name of George Washington off schools. Can you believe it? We're not going to let this stuff go on. The hardest thing I had to do as president was signing letters to the families of soldiers who were killed in the Middle East. Often I called the parents, very often. Sometimes I went to Dover Air Force Base. That's where the bodies of the soldiers would come in, and I'd see them bringing a young man, a young woman in a coffin, and I'd be with the parents. And I've told this story a couple of times. The parents would sometimes be unbelievable. You would almost not understand. It was like, sir, it's so great to meet you. And they'd always tell stories about their child. Sir, my son could throw a football so long. He was a quarterback in high school. He was a quarterback in college. Sir, I think he could have been in the NFL. He was really good. He was so great. And we're waiting for the plane to come in. And sometimes they'd be talking about their daughter. Lots of daughters were killed coming out of the Middle East. My daughter was so beautiful, sir. She was so incredible. She was the greatest. And I'd say to the general and the colonel that ran Dover, the great people, we have great, by the way, we have great generals. We have great generals. The ones you see on television are not the ones that are great. We have great generals and we have great leaders and a great military that I rebuilt. I rebuilt it. It was exhausting. But I'd say to the general and the colonel that ran Dover, and they saw the bodies coming in many days of the week. I'd say, General, it's amazing. The parents seem so fine. They can handle it. No, they can't, sir. I said, no, I just spent a half an hour talking to them. They're okay. I mean, they understand what happened. They're okay. No, they're not, sir. When that plane pulls up, sir, that big, unbelievable, powerful, just like you saw 3 days ago with the bodies dropping off the sides. How desperate are people to leave when you're hanging, clinging to a plane that goes up thousands of feet and you eventually have to let go? How desperate is it? How sad and how desperate. But when that cargo plane pulled up and that door opened, the general said, sir, when that door opens, and you had the most beautiful young people carrying a coffin or a number of coffins off of the plane. Sir, when that happens, you'll see the parents are not okay. So I was talking to people that seemed to be fine. I was amazed at their strength. And 10 minutes later, I watched that same mother and that same father screaming, running to the coffin as it was being taken off, breaking security lines. You couldn't stop them. I've never seen anything like it. And for what? And for what? And then you have a man who just retreats and gives up. And it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to our country. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to everybody. The most incredible people. But that was the saddest thing, seeing that. Dover, you go to Dover. You go also to Walter Reed Medical Center, incredible doctors. I will tell you this, most incredible doctors. And you see the kind of horrific injuries. And you see the parents, the wife, the husband standing and looking over the body of somebody that was just absolutely shattered. In some cases, no legs. In one case, I'll never forget, no legs, no arm, and then the other arm a half. And said to me, sir, I got lucky. I was able to save a half an arm. And I'm looking and I'm saying, we can never let this happen again. It was a terrible, terrible thing that happened. It was such a horrific mistake. But these people represent our nation. They're the greatest people our nation has ever had.